Welcome back to the Diving Into Sports podcast with your hosts Lyle
and Nash.
Henry. Let's dive into today's topic, which is the 2026 ISCO Championship at Hurstbourne Country Club. A big episode for you today, and we're excited to talk about it. We go to this tournament every year. I mean, it's really special for us. It's the closest PGA Tour tournament to where we live in Bloomington, Indiana, and yeah, it's a fun vibe, a fun course, a tough course. They changed before last year's tournament to Louisville. It was in Lexington, and now Hurstbourne's a challenge. It's a challenge. And this year we've got an amateur favored to win. There's a lot to talk about. Nash, start it off.
Yeah, so in case you're new here, this tournament used to be called the Barbasol Championship. It was rebranded to the ISCO Championship, which is a local piping company in Kentucky. It was rebranded to that in 2024. Used to be hosted originally in Alabama up until about 2019. Then it moved to Keen Trace Champions Course in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and now it's at Hurstbourne Country Club in Louisville, which is probably the toughest test of all three of those courses. It plays host as the only co-sanctioned event between the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour in the United States, now that the Barracuda Championship is no more. The Corrales Punta Cana Championship takes that place, but is not in the U.S. So it's the only co-sanctioned DP PGA event in the U.S., and it hosts about 35% DP World Tour players, and the other percentage, 65%, is PGA guys that you see every week in America.
I mean, with all that being said, we're just so lucky that it's so close to where we live. And it's pretty star-studded this year, and there's a lot of up-and-comers, too. To start things off, like I mentioned earlier, Jackson Coyven, who turned pro last week, actually. Last week was his first professional start at the John Deere Classic. Before that, he was playing as an amateur. He was the low amateur at this year's U.S. Open, and he was the number one ranked amateur in the world before that. So, yeah, the fact that he's going to be here is pretty exciting. He's a betting favorite, which I am shocked by. He missed the cut at the John Deere last weekend. He's so young. There's a lot of nerves playing into his game. Max Homa's right there. I mean, solo second at the John Deere Classic last week. That's scary. But really, there's a few, mainly one favorite for me. I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, and you mentioned there are a couple rising stars on the PGA Tour. Unlike the tournament that will be playing at the same time on the PGA, you will not see any live guys in this field. That's because the Scottish Open, will be playing at the same time, it is originally and primarily a DP World Tour stop. So therefore, DP World Tour members, even if they play on live, are allowed to play in that event. And meanwhile, at the ISCO, because it is a primarily PGA event, there are no live players or live promotion players in the field. So very confusing, but something to be of note. I mean, obviously you see John Rahm and stuff in the field over in Scotland. Much different vibe here in Kentucky.
Yeah, not having live players, it doesn't affect the tournament that much, but it's an interesting note. The fact that there's two tournaments going on at the same time is just, I mean, how much golf do you want? Like, it's perfect for golf.
And builds right into the Open as well. So really just a great stretch for pro golf.
Yeah, and this course, it's one of the hardest on the PGA Tour, and it's an alternate, which is just so... It's so unique. That's the best way to describe this tournament. The ISCO Championship is unique, and it provides something you don't really get another week of the year on the PGA Tour. And you have people like Ben Coles, who just missed out on a perfect opportunity to get his first PGA Tour win, trying to come back and win. You have Steven Yeager, who is one of the favorites, Rico Hoey, Lucas Glover.
Yeah. And it's been a lot of shuffling as well in the field because people have been going over to Scotland. People have been dropping, and there's just been a lot of shuffling. You see this more this week than almost any week, as the PGA communications guys kind of test. Even more so than next week, because next week is a major tournament. This week is two co-sanctioned events, so a lot of shuffling around in the field.
Yeah, Rico Hoey actually got moved to Scotland too. I just want to add that. Lucas Glover, he played awesome last week. He's done well here in the past. He's a name to look out for. But there's the guy who hasn't played on the PGA Tour in just about a year, who was my favorite professional golfer, hasn't made the cut at this tournament before, but he's coming hot off a top 10 finish on the DP World Tour. That is Kiradech Aphibarnrat. Just a great guy, awesome person, and really fun to root for. Great energy. And yeah, I mean, 2 top 10s in 2026. There's some fire with him right now, and I think he could do well too. And not only am I rooting for him, but I legitimately think he's got a shot to win this thing. It would be breakthrough. He's about to turn 37. He needs it. I'm sure he would absolutely love it. The fans would love it. So, I mean, I'll be following him the whole week.
Yeah, that's good to point out. I mean, obviously he was much more of a staple on the PGA a few years ago, but now he's making his mark back on the European side of things. Had some good finishes over there on the DP World Tour. You mentioned the uniqueness of this tournament too. There will be 10 players making their PGA Tour debut this week. It's something that has actually proven to have some success in the past. 2023 Barbasol, Nathan Kimsey, the Challenge Tour graduate, now the Hotel Planner Tour, went to a playoff in that event, and it was his first ever PGA event. So you see guys popping up you might not have heard of. If you're really tuned in, though, a lot of these Hotel Planner Tour guys making their debut this week, some young guys to watch out for. And then you also mentioned Lucas Glover. He's appeared in more majors than anyone else in this field, by the way. He's appeared in 55 majors. Veterans still making a mark on the game.
Another guy who I think, and this isn't taking a shot at him, but probably not many people even know his name. And he won the 2025 Sanderson Farms Championship. And I think he could do really well in Kentucky. That is Stephen Fisk. And Stephen Fisk came in 28th last year. He's actually got pretty good odds to win this thing. And I did some research and I was like, okay, this guy's for real. I mean, he's already won on the PGA Tour and now the ISCO. The ISCO is a great opportunity for guys like him because you're not going up against the Scotty Shufflers. You're going up against people more where you are at the moment. That's not to say they couldn't get higher. A lot of these people, this is a launch pad for them. But it's really a lot of people in a similar situation. And if you win this thing, it just changes your whole career.
Yeah, no kidding. You've got just such a diverse field, too, with 24 countries represented. You definitely don't see that on your normal PGA Tour event. Obviously, you've touched on a few guys, but let's try and go category by category, a little more structured here. So let's start out with guys you're just, in general, guys you'll be rooting for, maybe watching. Probably give 2 or 3 guys here and just personal favorites that you'd like to see do well. Obviously, you mentioned Kiradech. Any other guys jump out at you?
Yeah, there's a few. I'll list 3. So, first of all, I'll say Camilo Villegas. He used to be one of the best players on the PGA Tour.
He's been as high as 7th in the world.
He's in his 40s now, and he's still grinding. You gotta appreciate it. Also, a nice guy, and yeah, I would be happy for him if he did well. Big Rig Harry Higgs, another fan favorite, and when he's doing well, it's electric. And then I'm trying to think of another, probably my top golfer would be Wen Yiding is from China, and he had a great amateur career, and now he has a chance to do well in the United States. He was in the marquee group last year with Koiven and Thor Bjornsson. So I'd love to see him do well. And then Tyler Collett, Daniel Eisman. It would be cool to see a local guy do well. I'm not saying I'm really rooting for them that much, but it would be fun to see a local guy in the mix. And yeah, what about you, Nash?
Yeah, so just before I get into some guys I'll be rooting for, you mentioned local stuff. There are 2 Louisville Cardinals in the field. Adam Hadwin and Daniel Eisman both will probably have a big following. And it's interesting to point out, you got 144 guys in this field. Only 26 of those did not go to a traditional American college. So even though you have a lot of DP players, a lot of those guys played in America at some point in their career. It's important to note. But guys that
when Yiding played at Arizona State.
Yeah. Arizona State has 4 guys in this field, including someone I would like to see do well with, which is Nicholas Lemke. He's one of the older players in the field. He is fighting to maintain his DP World Tour card. This will be his second appearance at the Barbasol or the ISCO, his third PGA appearance. Would really like to see him do well as someone that had also a great amateur career, hasn't really been consistent professionally, but would like to see him do well. Also, a couple other guys, Daniel Gavins has dealt with numerous injuries the past couple years, which has kind of led to a snowball effect of missed cuts. Would be nice to have him at least make it to the weekend. And then Jeongwon Ko, the Frenchman, just had a great week in Munich. He's had a really solid year on the DP, but also one of those guys just fighting to maintain his card, that 115 mark right around there. So would like to see him have a positive week for that mark. And then the next category, I'll let you lead off on this, is if there's any guys that jump out to you as maybe not your prototypical favorites, odd leaders, you could say leaders in the odds to win, but guys you think do have a legitimate shot at winning this thing. If you could say like 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah, okay. So one of those that jumps out to me, he did well at King Trace. He's qualified for the Open. And he's a DP World Tour player, Sam Bairstow. I think he's got a really good shot at doing well. I can already picture him being on the leaderboard. And
he's qualified for the Open. One of, in fact, the only player that is qualified for the Open that is on the DP that's playing.
Another guy that jumps out to me is Zach Blair, who did well last week, and I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's building the tree farm, one of his own personal course right now, working on architecture like crazy, and he's been playing great golf. Jorge Campillo, veteran, he went to Indiana, where we're from, Bloomington. It would be cool to see him do well. And there's another guy I like, and one guy I forgot to mention earlier for who I'm rooting for is Aaron Wise. He did well at the John Deere last week. I could see him doing well. He's been really open about his mental health struggles. He took a few years off from pro golf, and that's relatable to so many people, including myself. I think he would be a great story if he did well too.
Yeah, Zach Blair's actually had some good finishes here. Important to note, not really important, just a fun note, he's also the shortest player in the field. And Christo Lamprecht's the tallest, 6'8" from South Africa. A couple sleepers that I think have a legitimate shot at having a good week. I actually had Campillo marked down here. He's 22nd in Race to Dubai, arguably the highest ranked DP World Tour player in the field, knows the Midwestern courses well. He's had 2 runner-ups this year at the Hainan Classic and the Sudal Open. I mean, he's in great form. Another guy in great form is Ricardo Gouveia, who was in second place after round 1 at the 2022 Barbasol. He's also had a runner-up in Austria. And then a couple guys from the Hotel Planner Tour making their PGA debut that I think you should keep an eye on are Hugo Townsend from Ole Miss and Stefano Massoli from TCU. Both guys have had top 15s in their rookie campaign on the DP, and I think that could translate over to an event like this.
This is going to be a boring answer, but another guy none of us have mentioned is Chon Kim. He fired a 61 at this course last year. He was in contention, and he fizzled, but when you do well at a course, it's not like that energy, that experience just goes away. I think he clearly knows this course well, and he knows how to do well here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him near the top of the leaderboard as well.
Yeah. Let's go to our final category here in terms of player, the field uh, to win. Guys you think are kind of up there. Let's be honest, they're up there in odds. They're up there in OWGR. Guys you think maybe other people are mentioning them, but they stand a real chance. I'll start out here. Christian Bezuidenhout. I think if you were to ask me one guy, I think he's going to win. That's probably who would jump out at me. He's made 8 of his last 9 cuts. His first time ever playing in Kentucky. He's top 120 in the world. Never won on the PGA Tour, which seems surprising, but he's a guy I think if you were to ask me a winner pick, it would be Christian Bezuidenhout. And then David Lipsky, as well as a guy that always seems to play well in events like this. Runner-up at John Deere last year. This could be a breakthrough for him, a Northwestern guy, kind of a Midwestern area. Thomas Rosenmuller from Germany had a top 6 finish last week and then a top 15 on the Corn Ferry prior. He's another guy in great form. He also finished top 15 at the ISCO last year. He's a guy that not many people are talking about. Keep your eye out for Thomas Rosenmuller this weekend.
That's an interesting name. I think a lot of Kentuckians would hear his name for the first time. And again, this might sound like a boring answer. I've got 4 names for you. I've got to start off biased, and like I said earlier, Kiradek, just watch out. I'm just saying, if he does well, I'm the one that told you. But 3 other ones, Ben Cole's redemption from last week, it would be a fun story, and he's playing 10 straight events. He says he really wants status on the PGA Tour. He's 6th on the Corn Ferry Tour. There's a lot going on for him. He's been grinding for years, never gotten a win on the PGA. This is a perfect tournament for a guy like him. Max Homa, oh my, just such a big name. And he finished solo second at the John Deere last week. He's got to do well this week. If he doesn't do well, I would be shocked. And honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if he won this thing. Chandler Phillips, another guy who's choosing to stay in the ISCO field. He could be in the Scottish, but he's playing in Kentucky. The fans there would love him. He seems like the type of guy who will do well in a tournament like this. And yeah, those are my 4 names.
Yeah, you mentioned Max.
But don't sleep on Sam Bairstow either.
You mentioned Max Homa, obviously. Probably going to have the biggest crowd this week. My prediction is they put him with Miles Russell, the highly touted amateur, to really beef up that group. He's got more, Homa that is, has more DP or PGA wins than anyone in the field. He's got 7. He's been 5th in the world. Obviously, he's like the cream of the crop headliner here. But we'll see how he does, of course. This field is, like we've been saying, it's just a really interesting one. You've got 17-year-olds and Miles Russell, who got an exemption, to 48-year-olds.
He's younger than us.
To 48-year-olds and Jonathan Bird, just grinding. He's played in 8 ISCOs or Barbasols, which is 2 more than any other player in the field. The 48-year-old, whose son now plays at Clemson, actually. So this field stretches 31 years of age. Got a lot of guys from around the world. I mean, it's a fun event. We always look forward to going to it. And what are some of your final thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm pumped for this tournament. I remember a few months ago thinking, it's 60 days away. We've got a lot of time, but that'll go fast. And now here we are, the week of. It is ISCO week. It's not Scottish week in my book. It is ISCO week. And it is going to be a fun week. It is going to be one with a tough track. And don't expect super low scores. And yeah, I'm just hoping a DP World Tour player wins. I would love an international player to win, and I would love that for them. And I just think it would be a cool story. Kiradek obviously is my guy, but yeah, we're excited about this, and we'll provide a recap after the tournament for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And keep an eye out on that cut as you're watching this coverage on Golf Channel this week, or if you happen to be attending in person. Last year, the cut line was +1. We'd expect it to be right around there this year. It's
Oh,
not
it'll
an
be
easy
over
course.
par. It'll be over par. The last thing I wanted to add is that there is rain in the forecast. Be prepared for carnage, thick rough, and yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it won't. It will not be easy for anyone from the DP to the PGA. This 144 player field is definitely boosted up. Lots of fun names, former winners, new guys you haven't heard of before that you might learn about this week. It's really got it all here at Hurstbourne, Kentucky's only PGA Tour event.
So if you don't watch golf, maybe give it a try this week. Golf Channel, ISCO Championship,
4 to 7 every day.
You heard it from us. We'll be back after the tournament. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Remember, you can listen to Diving into Sports on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Pocket Casts, and Stitcher. We'd love it if you could follow us on all of those platforms. And check out our Twitter account. Our handle is @Nash and Lyle.
By the way, we're now available on Google Podcasts as well.